And we got the second Firefly Funhouse vignettes. And we were not here for the last one, the debut. So I have noted the whole first one and the whole second one.
Oh, God.
So we're going to go through it. Me and Chris already disagree on everything regarding this.
Except for the fact that I'm glad Bray's in it. Just because he has TV time.
But Chris does not like it. I do love it. So we couldn't be farther apart. I don't know. Well, we don't know exactly why yet. Like, we haven't discussed it in as much depth as we're about to.
Yeah, we haven't really seen each other for the past couple weeks, really.
Yeah. So we'll get to the first one, which debuted last week.
Didn't like it.
Which saw Bray Wyatt in a Mr. Rogers Blues Clues.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Mr. Rogers meets Blues Clues.
Yeah, and some Pee Wee Herman in there.
Maybe some Pee Wee.
And a parody sort of show. Like a children's show. It has like the backdrop of like the backtrack rather of like the children laughing and like booing and all that at certain points. So
props to production for hitting the play button.
Yeah. So, and this was shocking, really. But there were so many layers to everything in here. And that is why I'm going to talk about all of them and why I liked it so much. Because Bray was phenomenal in these. And there were so many subtle things and just a lot to dig your teeth into and just speculate about. And so we'll go right at the beginning. He comes in, he does the goofy introduction to this whole show, and he puts his hands over his face like a peekaboo thing.
Yeah.
But he has gloves on. And one of his gloves says hurts, and one says heal.
Mm-hmm.
As in H-E-E or H-E-A-L, like heal a wound, and not like a heal in a wrestling sense. And so he introduces these characters. He introduces Mercy the Buzzard, which is the sock puppet bird raptor thing. And
comes out of the box.
Yeah, he comes out of the box. And Abby the Witch, who was the doll in one of the vignettes leading up to this.
Yes.
And so, and Abby is an important name there because Abigail.
Sister Abigail.
And so Bray explains here that he used to be a very bad man. And that's when, the kids are like, oh, boo, and all that. But then he also says that he has been barbarically punished for all of his wrongdoings, and I think the kids like cheered there, and so that starts the discussion of like, what does he mean by barbarically punished, and that sort of whole string of events that he could be talking about, and. He says that part of him is dead now. But he says that he keeps a reminder of his past self so that he'll never go back to that. And that being a cardboard cutout of his old Wyatt family self, that whole attire and all that. And
that's when he got the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
But here's another thing, is that Bray, before he gets the chainsaw, he puts his hand to his ear as if like he's taking a phone call, but he doesn't have a phone, he just has his hand.
Yeah.
And it's something I've listened to a few reviews on this, and I didn't see anyone pick up that he puts his hand to his ear and it's the glove that says hurt. So it's like he's listening to that. And that's when he gets the chainsaw and he cuts the head off of the cardboard cutouts, all the while maniacally sort of laughing. And that part was like the psychotic sort of part of the character that whole laughing with the chainsaw, and that went on for like a good few seconds, just him laughing.
Yeah, a little too long.
Yeah, and then the closing line for the first and second one was when he says, remember, Fireflies, I'll always light the way. All you have to do is let me in.
Well, at least he didn't say all you have to do is believe.
Yeah. So, and that kind of alludes to the sort of cult leader sort of thing that he was at one point, that all you have to do is let me in. And so I dug all of that, and I thought it really was just an interesting and deep sort of way to start this character. Now,
I think they shouldn't have started that character.
So, give me some reasons you don't like it.
One, we don't need a Mr. Rogers wannabe in WWE. We don't need it. We've got enough crappy characters that we don't need anymore. We need real characters. Somebody that can...
Well, this is a character.
But it's not a real one. Not a real good one, anyway.
But that's one of the complaints that I think even we've had, is that there aren't enough characters.
Everybody's a character.
And this is different from anything that we've had in a while.
Yeah, because this is so bad, we don't want to see it for a while. Of course, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's how you feel.
No.
Or these people listening on here listening.
Yeah.
Just saying that's how I feel.
And that's the great thing about this, is that I think it's very... it's one of those things that half the people love it and half the people hate it.
And we're going to cover both sides.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Now, if we only had people to listen to hear it. I don't know. It might be the fact that I'm used to Bray the way he was. Not just as the Wyatt family, but when he teamed with Hardy.
Yeah.
He was... But once he left, and for no reason, they never used him. And now he comes back as a Mr. Rogers reject.
That's the beautiful thing about it, though, to me, is that he's putting on the face of a Mr. Rogers, but inside he is, as we'll talk about in the second one, a sociopath.
Well, just because the episode is sponsored by the word sociopath. No, but I mean, if they keep it going in this direction, yeah, it might turn some people onto it that feel like I do now.
Yeah.
I guess I want a real character. I want somebody I can actually get behind and not laugh at.
Okay.
I can't sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm going to root for this guy because he can spell. I know that the puppets and everything has stuff to do with it. I know that. And, we talked about the Abby the Witch off air.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like they're trying to make it too kid-oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I know it's a family show now. Great. But once it goes to Fox, they don't want all this family crap. They want something a little edgier.
And that's another thing, is that we don't know if it's a Raw or SmackDown thing, because it's airing on both shows.
And I haven't seen which way he's been placed. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably don't know.
Yeah, they probably don't know until... Well, let's see who's going to get better ratings during that segment.
But it was interesting, too, because the report after this was that WWE got pushback from this from stockholders, because they didn't like the idea of having a cult leader that is essentially like targeting kids to...
I didn't think about that, but
follow him in that way.
I see it.
Yeah.
From their point of view.
But, and normally I feel like when something like that happens, when the money talks, when stockholders, sponsors, whoever else that is feeding Vince McMahon and his empire money, Saudi Arabia, he's going to listen.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, they've stuck to their guns on this one. and they're pushing forward with it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it like that, it makes sense. Why would you want that on TV? I mean, we got enough issues with our youth nowadays. They can't even write in cursive or read an analog clock. So why do we want to, have them addressed by a cult leader?
Yeah, and that's a valid point. And obviously, for me, I'm 23 years old. I don't have any kids. I don't think of things in that regard.
I'm 38 with 2 boys. So it's one of those things where I can see the parents' perspective.
Yeah.
And now, when I was your age, no, I would have never saw it.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older than dirt, I can see it.
Yeah. So we'll see, because there's don't get me wrong. This could go horribly wrong, and because there's a lot of ways that they could really mess this up, and because that's part of what I'm worried about, because I don't know how you make the gimmick work in the ring, that's part of my worry with it, and hopefully they have a plan.
Is the gobbledygooker going to come in dressed like one of them?
Yeah. So, because these vignettes, they can put them together and they can structure them the way they want, but then when you actually get Bray in the live audience with this sort of character, it's something that will have to be carefully thought about of how to approach that.
I don't even know how they would approach it, just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I mean, successfully, I don't see how.
I mean, the basic way is just that, you go the Festus sort of routes. Once he gets in the ring, he changes his character from that to the old Bray.
But I don't know.
But then that's then what's the point, really?
Yeah, what's the point of even doing this whole Funhouse stuff?
Yeah, so it has to be something unique.
And obviously, we don't know. We don't know the whole story. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change my mind on it.
I'm sure you will keep an open mind about this.
When it comes to wrestling, I bitch and moan a lot. But I keep an open mind. Even though I disagree with it right now, I'll keep an open mind because I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah. That's part of the thing, is that we only see A, B, and C right now, that they haven't gotten to X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So we have to wait and judge as we see it.
I just hope they don't take too long to do something with it.
That is another thing, because
this is 2 weeks now.
They could do this for months.
Well, look what they did with Emelina.
Yeah.
What was it, 5 months, 4 months of videos?
Yep.
Just to come out and go, no.
Actually, I'm not Emelina.
Yeah.
Turns out I lied.
So, I mean, if they play it out too much, it's going to do nothing but hurt him.
Yes, I agree with that.
To the point where he could be like Emma. And once that happened, you took too long, you just ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
It's time for you to bump. Just get out.
And in the second one that aired this week, this was another telling one, because we have Bray painting a picture.
Yeah.
And he says right away here that it helps, painting helps to express his suppressed feelings. And I think the line after that was when you express yourself, no one can truly hurt you.
Yeah. Now, before we saw the painting, I was like, okay, we're going to see Sister Abigail. Because you didn't see really much of anything in the first one. Like him painting or anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great, we're going to see Sister Abigail. That was what the whole issue was, the whole spiel, his first run, was Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
And we didn't. Totally.
We did in a way.
We didn't.
Totally. And I'm going to talk about that when we get to this in a second. But we get introduced here to Rambling Rabbit, who is a rabbit, but not a real rabbit, like a puppet sort of rabbit.
Corey Graves.
But the thing I've taken away from this is that I think these characters he has, Mercy, Abby, and Rambling Rabbit, I think all of them are an expression of part of himself. Like the Rambling Rabbits, what I think of is back when his character got old and people started groaning about it, that it was the same thing. He'd cut the spooky promo on the Tron and then he'd lose.
Yeah.
And that was just it. And that his promos became rambling because they were saying, he was talking the talk, but couldn't back it up.
Yeah.
So people could see it as rambling because they don't buy what he's saying.
It makes it seem like you're telling me he's got multiple personalities.
Yeah, I think that could be part of the character.
But and if that's how they're going to play it, great. But they need to do something with it and get off of this kid show. Because I understand how the first week, but if you're going to do multiple personalities, switch it up. You know, 1 week you're in a playhouse, in the Firefly Playhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Next week you're in some abandoned boiler room looking for Abby the Witch.
Okay.
You know, something like that. Switch it up. Look for your personalities.
Yeah.
You can't have all of them in one room.
Right.
If that's how they're going to do it.
Right. And I'm just speculating on that. So.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We're
We're just guessing. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. And like it or not, I do think that is part of the good, is that it leaves room for speculation. And we can just... It gives us something to talk about.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope it turned out to be good.
Which I don't think is something that really a lot of WWE has given us, is just something to talk about.
Not really. I mean, the only thing they've really given us is the race issue between Vince and Kofi.
Yeah, and that was more of a for the wrong reasons sort of,
and that was
something to talk
for
about.
The storyline.
Yeah, and so Bray shows his painting, and it's of a burning house, and in the window or the door or whatever it is,
window,
that you can see someone in there like screaming for help and all that, and what it was, because I even went back and watched this, because it was when Randy Orton burned down the Wyatt family compound thing.
Yeah,
and that is where it was said that the spirit of Sister Abigail was, that like underneath the grounds that the house is on is where she was buried.
Yeah.
So that's where her spirit lies, is in that house. And so he burned the house down and burned the spirit of Sister Abigail and all that, Jubbins, all that. And he's showing this like horrifying painted picture, but he's just like laughing about it and hangs it on the wall.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the first, as soon as I saw it, that's the person that popped in my head. Was Randy Orton burning down the compound.
Yeah. And the house even looks like similar to what it was in the...
I mean, it's not hard to make a shack.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got one door and one window.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very similar.
And so that's when Abby the Witch comes in. And Abby, I think, is voiced by Bray, it sounds like.
Yeah.
With like some voiceover effects. But it sounds like it's him. And she tells Bray that he hasn't learned anything. He hasn't learned his lesson from last time, and all this other stuff about he's turning into the same person he was. And Bray, I think he mentioned how. No, it was like he said. He asked the kids if they forgive him, and they were all like, "Yeah." And then after that, Abby was just like, fine, just be quiet while I'm trying to get my beauty rest. That doll needs a lot of beauty rest.
I still don't like it.
I can understand.
And it might just be the way I'm looking at wrestling now. You know, it's because I'm looking at it like I want it to be like it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it as it's a new era, things change, characters change. No. Go back to what worked. And don't.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. Is that there are things that worked back then, that can still work. There's also things that worked back then that won't work now.
That's true. And if that's what they're doing, great. But I don't. And it might just be the segment, just the fun house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but I see that. I see a wrestler like Bray Wyatt, and then the words "fun house." Unless it's a haunted, scary fun house, he should not be in there.
Well, that's part of like the whole irony of it, and that
I want to be entertained, and I just don't find it entertaining.
Okay.
To each his own.
Yeah.
I mean, we know you like it. We know I don't.
Yeah.
So time will tell if you switch your opinion or I switch mine.
I like it for now.
Yeah, and I hate it probably forever.
And so Bray comes back over to his painting, and he says that Abby is a bit of a sociopath.
Yeah.
And that's when I started taking from this that that's really the moments that I really thought that all of the doll and the puppets and all that are an extension of Bray when he said that.
Okay.
Because that's him saying that he is a sociopath, essentially.
Yeah.
Or at least part of him.
Which we already knew.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if we watch Bray Wyatt, you already know.
Yeah. And so that's when Rambling Rabbit comes in and he says, "Isn't that like the word of the day or something?"
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So we had the Pee Wee Herman thing with the word of the day.
And you know what's disappointing about this whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he hasn't been on TV for 6 months, and this is what they come up with.
It's different.
In 6 months, this is what they have to put him on TV.
But I don't even think that this is what they have. I feel like this is all Bray's idea.
I don't know.
Or at least, I can tell by watching it that Bray has a lot of influence in it.
Now,
if nothing else.
There was a picture of Bray Wyatt talking to The Undertaker. And the caption was that they were working on this new persona. Whether it is or not, don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is kind of twisted the way Bray Wyatt would be.
Mm-hmm.
But The Undertaker, he knows so much. I mean, he knows how to do the dark stuff. He can tell you everything you want to know. But if they colluded on this and this is what they came up with, I'm very disappointed if The Undertaker was part of this mess.
Yeah. I have no idea if Undertaker actually was.
There's no telling. That was just a picture with a caption.
Yeah. I definitely think that Bray has had a lot of influence in it because it seems like his sort of thing.
Well,
and
it seems like it did when he first debuted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much the same, just different.
But it doesn't feel like something he's handed a script on.
No, it doesn't feel like the rest of Raw.
And I think anything when you add that touch has a lot more potential when you're giving the performer more leeway.
Yeah. And I mean, they used to back in the day. They don't do that very much anymore.
No.
I understand.
We can go back to that women's promo earlier to see that.
Yeah. God almighty. No, we don't want to go back there. No.
Will you take this over that promo?
I think I'm going to quit watching wrestling, gouge my eyes out, and learn to read Braille.
All right, and
can we just move to the next match?
There was one more thing that Bray closes again with the whole "I'll light the way. All you have to do is let me in." But this time,
fucking creeper, man.
But this time it was a whole lot more creepy when he said it this time than the first time, because he says, "I'll light the way, and all you have to do," and then he pauses and gets a sinister sort of look, and he says, "It's let me in."
Yeah.
And then he stays in that face for a second, and then he goes right back to his happy Mr. Rogers face, waving, "Bye!"
Yeah.
I dug that.
They just need to hurry up with this because I don't like not knowing whether I should hate it or like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to waste my emotion on something when I don't know what I should be wasting. I'll waste my hatred on it if I know I'm supposed to hate it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like this is going to be a heel thing, but I don't really know.
I don't know because he was healed and he turned face with Hardy and then he was gone because Hardy was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to bring him back a heel? Did we need another heel? I don't think so. I think we could use another face.
Yeah. I don't know. This could be one of those in the middle things.
Oh my gosh. Jeff is out with an injury. Matt's not doing nothing. Let's team them up again.
If they go right back to that, then
that would be funny though.
It would be kind of funny, but
you win the championship at what Mania, the tag belts. Is that when they won them, or was it after?
The SmackDown after? I think.
That's right. It was SmackDown after, and then you lose them 2 weeks later without defending them, and then you just later, bro. I'm gonna go back to this dude.
I'll see you when you get back.
See you in 6 to 9 months, dog.
Yeah. So. My last note was just that I was curious if they showed this to the live crowd or not, because it transitions right into Naomi's music playing and both of them in the ring, her and Alexa. So I don't know if the crowd saw this or not. Because on SmackDown, they show the crowd watching the segment.
Yeah.
But on Raw, they just show the segment.
And I'm thinking that Raw is going to be a lot like WrestleMania was for us, where they're listening to intro music for 7 minutes on loop.
That could be. They could have been listening to Naomi's music.
Oh God, that would be
minutes.
so annoying. Could you imagine how many times you're going to hear it? I'm amazing. And that's all you're going to hear is over and over. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Did you know I'm amazing? Yeah.
So
I feel sorry for that crowd if that's what happened.
All I'll leave it with is that if you didn't watch either of these segments,
you didn't miss nothing.
Shut up. But God, I hate you. Just watch them for yourself. Don't just rely on siding with me or Chris.
No.
And form and see what you think of it.
Form your own opinion and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Let us know if you think Brock's right or if you think I'm right. Is it stupid or is it entertaining? Or is it entertainingly stupid?
My whole point, I don't even think it's like an entertainment thing. I just think it's fascinating. I mean, that there's.
Do you know what fascinating means?
There's so many.
Is it literally fascinating?
No. There's just so many layers, like an onion, to peel through this.
Okay. And I just don't want to peel because I don't want to cry about it.
Thank you all for watching this clip from the Enhancement Talent Podcast. If you'd like to check out the full show, be sure to check out the links in the description.